Hello everyone, welcome to this second session of D365 Mastery Series. In this session, we're going to talk about the workflow email configurations in D365. My name is Santosh Kumar Durgam and I'm a solution architect on D365 Finance and Operations. So, typically what happens is we configure the workflows for documents like purchase requisitions, purchase orders, journals, etc. So once these documents are created in the system, so these will be submitted for the workflow so that these documents will go for required approvers for the approval. So when the documents are waiting for the approval from someone, we expect the D365 system to send out the email to that approver so that they know they have to approve that document. It acts like a quick email reminder for them so that they have to take an action on that particular document. So we're going to look at those configurations so that the emails properly land into the user's mailboxes, whoever is supposed to approve the document. Okay. In the previous session, in the session 1, we learned about the email parameters configurations. If you are somebody who is directly getting into this session 2, I would strongly recommend you that get into the session 1 of this series, which is about the email configurations, where what we discussed is we talked about how do you set up your email parameters form so that the test emails can be sent from the D365 system, and we also talked about the email providers. What is the Exchange email provider and what is the SMTP provider, right? Now let us get into the configuration. Right, so in the email parameters, the batch email provider is an option that you have to ensure that is set up. So this is where you choose either Exchange or SMTP. So in the previous session, we discussed about this one. What is the Exchange email provider ID and what is SMTP? So we are going ahead with the option of the Exchange here because I'm not looking at using the SMTP credentials in the system. Okay, if at all you have the SMTP credentials that you got to use for some reason, yeah, you have to specify this batch email provider as SMTP. So why are we saying this as a batch email provider? This is because this email provider setting that you are specifying here will be used only for non-interactive emails. So what is that non-interactive or batch emails are? For example, these workflow emails, so these are sent by a particular batch job. So there is a batch job that should keep running, and that is responsible to send this particular email to the recipient. So that is the reason this is a batch email provider. Okay, and then I'm telling the system to use the Exchange credentials here. So it does not look at what is the username and password in the SMTP settings. However, it uses the server information that you have provided here. So the username and password are typically not required with the setting that we are moving forward with. Now, what is the next thing that we have to ensure? So let's just get into the next slide. So these are the primary configurations that you have to make sure they are properly set. One is the email template must be selected in the workflow. In the previous session, you learned about the organization email templates and the system email templates. I'm also going to show you how these email templates will be visible in the workflows that you have created. Okay, and next is the email distributor batch must be running. So this is the batch job that is responsible to send the email, especially these workflow emails. This batch job is responsible to look at the emails that are expected to go to the recipients and then sends out this email to the approver. So that is the reason it is important that this batch job must be in the running state. Now there is also a form called review batch email sending status, which is going to give you the information of what is the status of your batch email. Okay, so with this, firstly let's get into the system now and then we'll come back to the PPT afterwards. So I have got my system and you have my email parameters configuration here, and I have the batch email provider set to Exchange, so which is good. And if I just wanted to do a testing, by the way, if I go to the SMTP settings, I don't have any credentials mentioned here because we are not using the SMTP credentials, we are using the Exchange server credentials. So getting into the test email, I can give another try if my settings are fine. And then send the test email. Okay, so my Exchange server credentials are working. So this is fine. Now, what I will do is I will take you to the other forms that I set. You see, I got the test email while we are looking at this. So I got the system administration in which I have this email distributor batch. So this is a batch job that I said we have to ensure this is running. Okay, so set this to batch processing and then set the recurrence to this. So without any end date, I want this to be running, and I need this to be running for every 1 minute. That's what it says, right? I just go ahead and say okay. Done. So this batch job is set. Now the other one that I was talking about is the batch email sending status. I'm going into this batch email sending status. So what is this? If I go to this batch email sending status, so this is where you can see all the batch emails, all the workflow emails especially that are going to the recipients. You'll be able to see that information here. So you see here the sender email ID is D365 alerts, and then if you want to see the message, you'll see by clicking the show message. So that tells you what is the message that is going to the recipient and who is the recipient. Okay, let me close this for now. So I'll just show you this form one more time after we run through the whole of this process. Okay, but remember that this is the first place where the email that is expected to go to the recipient will go and sit in. So once the purchase order or purchase requisition or any document is submitted for the workflow, then it comes into this form as an alert, and then the distributor job, the batch email distributor job that we ran, that is responsible to pick it from this table and then send it to the required recipient, and then it will mark the status as sent. That is how it works. Now what I will do is I have my purchase requisition workflow. I go to procurement and sourcing. For this example, I'm taking you to the purchase requisition workflows. Okay, I already have this open so that we can save some time by entering the credentials and everything. So I've got this purchase requisition review workflow. You're seeing this, right? This is my purchase requisition review workflow, and you don't need to really understand much into how this is configured, this approval and all that. Let's pay less attention towards that. So the only thing that I want to show you is if I do a right click here and then go to properties, this is where we will be able to choose what is the email template to be used. So this is exactly where your email templates that are configured are being used. Okay, and if you notice this, you got only two templates here. One is your user request related one, and the other one is this. So where is this coming from? This is the one that is coming from the system email templates. So let's just go back and see this now. So I got system email templates, and you see this? These are the two that we have. Why are we seeing the system email templates here? So is this how it is expected to work? Yes, it is. But let's understand the difference here. As I said previously, the system email templates are going to be available across the system, across all the companies. So these are going to be available. So purchase requisition form is a global form. And that is the reason only for purchase requisition, if you go and look at the email template, system will show you the email templates from the system email templates. But if you go to a purchase order related workflow and then try to provide your template, then you're not going to see the system email templates. You're going to see the email templates of organization email templates. So we're going to take a look at that. So this is done. We have provided a email template here. Let us quickly take a look at my approval element that we have here. I have this approve purchase requisition element. I kind of get into these properties. You look at these notifications here. Okay. In the notifications, I wanted system to notify when a purchase requisition is approved, and at the same time if something is delegated. So in these two events, I needed an additional email. So that is the reason I've enabled these two things. And also there is a general misconception that do you have to enable these notifications for sure, and only then when a document is assigned to the approver they'll get the email? So actually it is not. This is not mandatory. So the way system works is, by default, when a document is waiting for approval from someone, it will be able to send the email to that particular approver. So without you setting up these notifications here, as long as that user opted in for emails for workflows, that is something, another option that we're going to be looking at. Okay, so this is an additional notification that I'm expecting. So in some cases what would happen is, you will get the requirement from your clients that once the document is approved, the person who submitted the document for approval, they should be getting a notification. So you'll get that kind of a requirement. Or else, if a document is delegated to someone else, for example, the workflow is configured in a way that it has to go to the manager for approval. For example, if the manager or somebody delegates that document to someone else, and that delegation has to be notified to the original submitter, then you'll be able to enable these additional notifications here. So when you're doing that, so you'll just say that, yes, I want to enable the notification during the approval event. And then you say, who is the recipient? In this case, I said it is a workflow user. And when you say workflow user, you have the options to choose here. So typically, there is a workflow originator who needs to be alerted, who needs to be notified. So when we say originator, that is somebody who submitted this document for the workflow. That is how it works. Okay. So the same thing for the delegate. I did the delegation here. So when somebody delegates a particular work item to someone else, then I need the workflow originator to be notified, hey, your particular document is been delegated to someone else. So that's the kind of alert that I wanted. So that is about the approval. Now we are good. So let me just minimize this. We are not making any changes here, right? So this is good. Now let us quickly go back to our PPT. So you looked at the email template. Where do you have to really provide your email template? And the email distributor batch job is also executed. It is kept to run for every 1 minute. So this is good. And we also touch based this batch email sending status form. We will come back to that form once again. Now, there is another setting that is needed. There are another couple of settings that are needed at the user options level. So one is that your email provider selection must be available. So we decided that we're going to be using the Exchange server credentials, right? So we can specify the email provider ID as Exchange, and then the sender email ID also must be provided here. So only then the workflow emails will go to the respective email ID here. That is one important thing that you have to keep in mind. And this is another critical setting that you should not miss. That is, send notifications in email. So for example, I'm the approver, and once the purchase order is submitted, the document is routed to me, then for my user, this setting must be enabled. And it is a kind of a choice of the user. As a user, I can decide whether I want to receive these notifications in the email or not. So as an admin also, somebody can control this. Otherwise, it becomes a user's choice, because I don't really like getting too many emails into my email box. So in that case, I can say, no, don't send me any workflow notifications in the email. I'm happy to look at them in my action center. Okay, so like that you'll be able to provide your settings here now. So this is also done. Let us quickly go back to the system one more time. This is the email template that we have selected. Right now, just take a look at this email message. I'm just using the same demo data so that you'll be able to easily practice it if at all you have to go and look at it. So in the email message, you have this message created here. So what is it saying? This automated message or something, and this is this placeholder is used here, percentile message. Wherever you are seeing this placeholders, that is where the real workflow message will be replaced in this placeholder. So let's go back to the purchase requisitions here, and this is my approval element, right? I go to the properties. So this is my purchase, sorry, my work item instructions here. So this is a message that we're going to be getting in the email, because that is where it is indicated, that percentile message. Okay, so keep this in mind. Now what do we do is, let us go and submit a purchase requisition. I'm going to procurement and sourcing and purchase requisitions. Let me create a new requisition now. So give it a name and move forward. Let us now go and add a new line to this purchase requisition. Pick up the item number. And any other information that is required, let us fill that in. So this is okay for me, and I will submit this requisition for workflow now. So let us remember our purchase requisition number 206 and then submit this. So this should be good now. What I just want to show you is, let us go to this workflow history, where we will be able to take a look at what is happening on this document. So workflow is just activated and it is not yet assigned to anyone else. So let's just give it a couple of minutes. I refreshed the screen and I could see that there are 2 work items created, and come down, and these are the 2 users where the document is assigned for approval. And I did not actually configure my workflow to assign to myself. It's actually going to someone else right now. What do we do is, let's say as an administrator, I myself assign this. I can do the reassignment of this work item. So what am I doing is, I'm reassigning this to myself, which is like I am delegating this. So I am the admin user for this environment right now, so I'm assigning it to admin, which is me. I reassigned it. So let us just give it a minute. So this username should get changed. Yes, it did get changed now. Done. So this is now assigned to myself. So if I come back here and then try to do the approval, yes, I can see the approval button now. Okay, so I'm the approver. So now quickly what do we do is, let us get into the batch email sending status form. Yeah, as I said, this is the form where the data has to firstly come. You see here, everything just went in so well. So we are on 8th December and immediately I've got an email also here. Okay, it's talking about D365 alerts, approve purchase requisition thing. And you can look at this email firstly, and you also see another email that is about the approval work item delegated. So I basically got 2 items. One is about the delegation notification. I said you will also be able to send the notifications for certain events, where we have set up the notification for the delegation event. So that is the reason when I reassigned it to myself, And in this case, even I'm the person who is the submitter. So system generated an email to me that your document has been delegated to someone. Okay. So this workflow message is not fully, not nicely configured. That is the reason you just get some message here saying that approval work item is delegated. Okay. But look at this other one. It is talking about the approve purchase requisition. It has all the text that is there in the email message, and then it also has that placeholder is replaced with the real message. As you can see here, it is talking about the requisition number and what is the requisition amount excluding the tax. So all of that is coming in my email. Okay. Again, I'm taking you back into the batch email sending status, because you see here, these are the two emails that are generated on 8th December. One is for delegation and the other one is for your approval action that you have to take. So if you ever see that, the users complaining that the workflow emails are not coming to us, we don't know what is the problem, then this is the first place that you have to come and see. In the batch email sending status, if at all there are any problems with the email configuration, or if at all there are any issues with the user's email ID, etc., you will find this status as waiting or failed here. So when you see something is failed here, that tells you, yeah, you have to take, you have to do some configuration checks and then ensure this is working. And you'll also be able to see the message from here, what message is going to the recipient. As you can see here, the sender email ID is this D365 alerts, and this is a recipient ID, and this is a message that is going. Okay, so this is how you can look at this batch email sending status. And on top of this batch email sending status, your email history also will get updated. So if I go to the email history, I've shown you this form in the previous session, but just to recap, we also have this email history as another form where all the emails that are going out from D365 system will get stored here. Okay. Your batch email sending status is a subset where only the batch emails will be available in that form, wherein the email history is a consolidated form where all the emails that are going out from D365 will get registered here. Okay, so that is about it. I think that is all. That is all for this session, and I hope this really helped you. If it did, please do share this video with somebody, so that they also can get benefited with all this learning experience. Thank you so much, and see you in the next session. Thank you. Bye-bye.